So people, I don't think they really understand this. If they did, they wouldn't be so thrilled about the U.S. lifting sanctions and Ahmed Shara inviting U.S. investment and U.S. involvement within their oil infrastructure and their economic infrastructure in general. They wouldn't be happy about that. And what makes it so ridiculous and so crazy is that wasn't this the whole point of the Arab Spring? Wasn't the whole point of the Arab Spring to topple these Western-backed tyrants? These Western-backed tyrants who are making their billions of dollars at the expense of their own populations by agreeing to be backed by the United States in exchange for not only billions of dollars in investment, also weapons that those tyrants then use to repress their population. Wasn't the whole point of the Arab Spring in 2010, 2011, 2012, wasn't this whole awakening to throw off these puppet dictators? Because people had enough. People of the Middle East had enough of the corruption. They had enough of these tyrants backing Israel against the Palestinian people. Wasn't that the whole point of the Arab Spring? And you had different factions. I remember, this was 15 years ago. I remember it very vividly how passionate these Arabs were. Like, oh, this is for freedom. And I remember one idiot that from Syria that was debating me on this. He was saying that, yeah, actually, freedom is more important than La ilaha illallah. Freedom is actually much more important than La ilaha illallah. Why? Because if you don't have freedom, you can't have La ilaha illallah. You have to have freedom. That's why the Syrian revolution, first and foremost, is about freedom. Yeah, we care about Islam too. We care about La ilaha illallah too. But first and foremost has to be about freedom and democracy. Free speech, democracy, liberty for all. That is that, and religious freedom. Don't forget about that. That's our number one priority. So you had more secular types like this, waving the banner of secularism. You had others who are more Islamist. No, this is jihad. We have to establish an Islamic state, Islamic government, khilafah. This is what we have to do in the Arab world. This is why we support the Arab Spring in all of these countries. And then we see what has happened. We see what has happened in these countries. It has been a complete disaster. These countries are economically far worse than they were before the Arab Spring. The GDP in Syria was at its highest point right before the revolution in that country. It was it was about $3,000 GDP per capita. And then you have the Arab Spring. But it's worth it, right? Freedom is worth it. Okay, we are willing to destroy the country and to fight ceaselessly, even after countless deaths, after turning the entire country into a crater. It is worth it for freedom. It is worth it for La ilaha illallah. It is worth it to overthrow these tyrants. That was the rallying call of these Syrian revolutionaries, the Syrian rebels. This is what they were selling to the entire ummah, that you have to support us because this is worth fighting for. We had all the sympathy for them and for the entire Middle East. Why? Because we all see the fact that these are tyrants. These are tyrants that are throttling their people, oppressing their people, stamping out Islam to make way for Western-backed secularism, Western-backed, quote-unquote, human rights and women's liberation. We see how these Western-backed tyrants are trying to secularize the Middle East and turn the entire Middle East into a secular atheist region devoted to America and Israel. We all saw that. So yeah, we were sympathetic. We were in support. We were in support of change coming to the Middle East. But this is what they claimed, that it doesn't matter economically. Yeah, we're much poorer. Hundreds of thousands have been killed, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Now, those same people are celebrating, the lifting of U.S. sanctions, U.S. investment. This is a huge achievement for Ahmed Shara. This is a huge achievement for the Syrian revolution, this blessed revolution. We see the fruits of it now. It's like, wait a minute. If your whole bottom line was economic prosperity, economic stability, you had that before the Arab Spring. You had that in spades compared to now. If that was your whole goal, if that was your whole bottom line, then why even have an Arab Spring? Why even try to overthrow these Western-backed dictators? Why overthrow them? If that's what you're good with, apparently you're 100% okay with that. You're 100% okay with Jolani Ahmed Shara being backed by the West, opening up economic investment in Syria. You're perfectly fine with that. But that was the status quo that you tried to overthrow, that you rebelled against, that you had a revolution against in the first place. How does this make any sense? I haven't gotten an answer to that question. And these people, most of them are just electronic bots, so they just have regurgitated lines that they spit out. Oh, you're just the Iranian shill. Oh, don't you know that Iran also had a deal back in this date? Like, it's just a robot response, not actually engaging with the point. So, but yeah, tell me what was really the point of the Arab Spring? And the thing is that, fine, like in 2010, you actually had less of an excuse, or you had less of an excuse to normalize with the United States. Now there is absolutely no excuse for normalizing with the United States, because normalizing with the United States also means selling out the Palestinians. That's what it means in 2025 in the Middle East, to have this kind of really prosperous deal with the United States. It means that you're going to shut up about Palestine. You're going to shut up and allow it to happen, the genocide to happen, without helping, without providing any resistance, without actually doing something materially to stop the genocide. That's what it means. So that's even worse. Like, normalizing with the US and being backed by the US now is much worse than it was in 2010, 2011, when there wasn't a genocide of Palestinians actively taking place. So this is the kind of dystopia that we are dealing with.